I married my wife out of obligation, but time brought me to love her. So growing up, my dad left me when I was around 6, my mom was an alcoholic and mistreated me. I basically was living in a dump with her. The best part was going to school because my friends respected me and accepted me for the jerk I was. I enjoyed socializing with them and they made my day, however they were bullies. Now I didn't care about bullying. I knew it happened, but as long as I didn't do it or was the victim, I was fine. Then in comes this shy, scared, and nervous-looking girl into my middle school. My girlfriends began to group up and bully her for a couple of weeks. I didn't care, I wasn't going to take part or be the victim. I just wanted to finish school at the time. The bullying continued for the girl. She would cry, hide, and try to stay away from school as long as she could. When my friends locked her into a locker once, I stopped them. I guess she used that opportunity to get to know me. When my friends skipped school, she would come and talk to me or sit near me at lunch. She would share her lunch with me since I had nothing. She helped me with my homework, which I had no idea about. And she began to pay me, which I liked. I guess in return, I stopped my friends from getting to her. I owed her that. As years went by, she invited me to dinner with her parents, we would hang out together, and she'd pay for everything, which again, I liked. I liked her, but she loved me. As time continued to go by, I got my driver's license at 17. The problem was that a car would cost a lot of money and insurance for a young person like myself was a lot. So I asked her parents for the money, saying I will pay them back. I knew they would say no. They should have said no. Everything would be so different if they did. But they said yes, and bought me my very own car. After that moment, I realized that I had to take care of their daughter, at least until I paid them back. I would drive her anywhere and everywhere, we became closer and closer. She was so happy with me and always has a smile on her face when she sees me. It was her that kissed me first, it was her that brought me to her church, it was her that proposed to me, and it was both of us that got married to each other and gave each other our V cards. We've been married for 10 years tomorrow. I still owe her parents for the car and owe my wife all the cash she gave me. I like her, but she loves me so much. I've never cheated on her or ever thought about it. Our lives are perfect, but I wish I could let her know that I don't love her the way she loves me. To conclude, I work a minimum wage job and my wife is a teacher. We don't have kids. She loves me so much, but if I could take it all back, I would. I want to feel differently and I am trying to work on it to be the man she deserves. I married my wife out of obligation, but time brought me to love her. I have been working on treating my wife better. Today, I took my wife out to dinner for our anniversary. When I saw her cute face all excited to be brought out, I immediately felt different. I don't know what came over me, but it was the first time that I actually told her I loved her without forcing myself to say it. At first, I muttered it under my breath and my wife asked what I said. I tried a second time and again, I couldn't speak up. Then I said it out loud on the third time. My wife smiled and her face turned all pink. I knew it meant a lot to her. We remained quiet for a little while until she began to ask me about my day. We talked for a little while before we visited her parents. I told her parents that I would start paying them back for the car they had bought me when I was in my teens. I no longer wanted to clear my debt to remove the obligation I felt, but to prove I was with my wife for more than just the money. They told me not to worry about it. They were happy that I remembered and visited them even though it wasn't their anniversary. We talked for a couple of hours. When my wife and I returned home, we sat down together and I handed her a letter explaining my feelings. She began to cry while reading it and hugged me so tight. The last time I saw her cry was on our wedding night and it was tears of joy according to her. I told her that I realized that I was treating her unfairly. I told her I wanted to be more loving towards her. I told her I loved her and she was my life. She told me that I was her life, that I saved her from suicide, and that without me she wouldn't be happy. At this point I was crying. My wife is currently sleeping and all I can think about is how I owe her everything, and I am so glad she is still here with me. I will stick by my wife till death do us part like I had promised her 10 years ago. She is my life right now and I don't want to have anyone by my side other than her.